mi. 40 kilometers, radius of the Statue of Liberty National Monument. The Port Authority is headquartered at 4 World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. The New York State Department of Motor Vehicles, NYSDMV or DMV, is the governmental agency responsible for registering and inspecting automobiles and other motor vehicles, as well as licensing drivers in the state of New York. As of 2008, the NYSDMV has 11,284,546 driver's licenses on file and 10,697,644 vehicle registrations in force. All gasoline-powered vehicles registered in the state of New York are required to have an emissions inspection every 12 months. In order to ensure that environmental quality controls are working to prevent air pollution. Diesel-powered vehicles with a gross weight rating over 8,500 pounds that are registered in most downstate New York counties must get an annual emissions inspection. All vehicles registered in the state of New York must get an annual safety inspection. Public transportation, edit. In addition to the New York City subway system, which is confined to the 5 boroughs of New York City, New York State has 4 suburban commuter railroad systems that enter and depart the city: the Long Island Railroad, Metro-North Railroad, Port Authority Trans-Hudson, and 5 of New Jersey Transit's rail lines. The New York City Department of Transportation, NYCDOT, is the agency of the government of New York City responsible for the management of much of New York City's own transportation infrastructure. In Buffalo, the Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority runs the Buffalo Metro Rail light rail system. In Rochester, the Rochester Subway operated from 1927 until 1956, but fell into disuse as state and federal investment went to highways. Airports, edit. Portions of the transportation system are intermodal, allowing travelers to switch easily from one mode of transportation to another. One of the most notable examples is AirTrain JFK, which allows rail passengers to travel directly to terminals at John F. Kennedy International Airport and to the underground New York City subway system. Education, edit. Main article, Education in New York, State. See also, List of colleges and universities in New York, State. Among all New York-based colleges and universities, Cornell University in Ithaca and Columbia University in Upper Manhattan, both Ivy League universities, are the most selective universities, and both are world-renowned private universities. New York University in Manhattan also ranks highly among New York State-based universities. Other notable large private universities include Syracuse University and Fordham University. Smaller notable private institutions of higher education include University of Rochester, Rockefeller University, Mercy University, New York Institute of Technology, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, Yeshiva University, and Hofstra University. There are also a multitude of postgraduate level schools in the state of New York, including medical, law, and engineering schools such as New York Medical College and New York Law School. The United States Military Academy at West Point, the Service Academy of the U.S. Army, is located just south of Newburgh, on the west bank of the Hudson River. The Federal Merchant Marine Academy is at Kings Point on Long Island. In post-secondary education, the statewide public university system is the State University of New York, SUNY. The SUNY system consists of 64 community colleges, technical colleges, undergraduate colleges, and doctoral granting institutions. The SUNY system has 4 university centers: Albany, 1844, Buffalo, 1846, Binghamton, 1946, and Stony Brook, 1957, of which Buffalo and Stony Brook are the two flagship universities. The SUNY system is home to 3 academic medical centers: Renaissance School of Medicine at Stony Brook University on Long Island, Norton College of Medicine at SUNY Upstate Medical University in Syracuse, and SUNY Downstate Medical Center in Brooklyn. The City University of New York is the public university system of New York City. It is the largest urban university system in the United States, comprising 25 campuses, 11 senior colleges, 7 community colleges and 7 professional institutions. While its constituent colleges date back as far as 1847, CUNY was established in 1961. The university enrolls more than 275,000 students, and counts 13 Nobel Prize winners and 24 MacArthur Fellows among its alumni. A number of selective private liberal arts institutions are located in New York. Among them are Adelphi University, Bard College, Ben-Ed College, Colgate University, Hamilton College, Hobart and William Smith Colleges, Marist College, Sarah Lawrence College, Skidmore College, St. Lawrence University, Union College, and Vassar College. 2 of these schools, Ben-Ed and Vassar, are members of the selective Seven Sisters, originally all women's colleges with ties to the Ivy League. Ben-Ed is affiliated with Columbia University, its Manhattan neighbor, and Vassar became coeducational in 1969 after declining an offer to merge with Yale University. New York is also home to what are widely regarded as the best performing arts schools in the world. The Juilliard School, located on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, is one of the world's leading music and dance schools. The Eastman School of Music, a professional school within the University of Rochester, was ranked first among U.S. music schools by U.S. News and World Report for 5 consecutive years. The University of the State of New York accredits and sets standards for elementary, middle level, and secondary education in the state, while the New York State Education Department oversees public schools and controls their standardized tests. The New York City Department of Education manages the New York City public school system. In 1894, reflecting general racial discrimination then, the state passed a law that allowed communities to set up separate schools for children of African American descent. In 1900, the state passed another law requiring integrated schools. During the 2013 fiscal year, New York spent more on public education per pupil than any other state, according to U.S. Census Bureau statistics. Government, edit. Main article, Government of New York, State. See also, Law of New York, State. The Government of New York embodies the governmental structure of the State of New York as established by the New York State Constitution. It is composed of 3 branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. The governor is the state's chief executive and is assisted by the lieutenant governor. Both are elected on the same ticket. Additional elected officers include the Attorney General and the Comptroller. The Secretary of State, formerly an elected officer, is currently appointed by the governor. The New York State Legislature is bicameral and consists of the New York State Senate and the New York State Assembly. The State Assembly consists of 150 members, while the State Senate varies in its number of members, currently having 63. The legislature is empowered to make laws, subject to the governor's power to veto a bill. However, the veto may be overridden by the legislature if there is a 2/3 majority in favor of overriding in each house. The permanent laws of a general nature are codified in the Consolidated Laws of New York. The highest court of appeal in the unified court system is the Court of Appeals, whereas the primary felony trial court is the county court, or the Supreme Court in New York City. The New York Supreme Court also acts as the intermediate appellate court for many cases, and the local courts handle a variety of other matters including small claims, traffic ticket cases, and local zoning matters, and are the starting point for all criminal cases. The state is divided into counties, cities, towns, and villages, all of which are municipal corporations with respect to their own governments, as well as various corporate entities that serve single purposes that are also local governments, such as school districts, fire districts, and New York State public benefit corporations, frequently known as authorities or development corporations. Each municipal corporation is granted varying home rule powers as provided by the New York Constitution. The state also has 10 Indian reservations. There have been several movements regarding secession from the state of New York. Proposals have included a state of Long Island, consisting of everything on the island outside New York City, a state called Niagara, the western counties of the state of New York, the northern counties of the state of New York called upstate New York, making the city of New York a state, a proposal for a new Peconic County on eastern Long Island, and for the borough of Staten Island to secede from New York City. In a 2020 study, New York was ranked as the 17th easiest state for citizens to vote in. New York's government released a new seal, coat of arms, and flag in April 2020, adding E Pluribus Unum below the state's motto. A bill utilizing newly designed flag, arms and seal went into effect in September. Revived in the early 2000s, Abolition Commemoration Day, also known as the 5th of July, is a historic celebration commemorating the abolishment of slavery in New York. In July 2020, the New York State Assembly passed legislation officially recognizing Abolition Commemoration Day and Juneteenth in New York. Abolition Commemoration Day is observed on the second Monday in July and Juneteenth on the 19th of June. Capital punishment, edit. Main article, Capital punishment in New York, State. Capital punishment was reintroduced in 1995 under the Pataki administration, but the statute was declared unconstitutional in 2004, when the New York Court of Appeals ruled in People v. Lavallee that it violated the state constitution. The remaining death sentence was commuted by the court to life imprisonment in 2007, in People v. John Taylor, and the death row was disestablished in 2008, under executive order from Governor David Paterson. No execution has taken place in New York since 1963. Legislative efforts to amend the statute have failed, and death sentences are no longer sought at the state level, though certain crimes that fall under the jurisdiction of the federal government are subject to the federal death penalty. Federal representation, edit. See also, current United States congressional delegation from New York and New York's congressional districts. New York is represented by Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand in the United States Senate. There are 26 congressional districts, the nation's fourth highest number of congressional districts, behind California's 52, Texas's 38, and Florida's 28. As of 2024, 15 districts are represented by members of the Democratic Party, while 10 are represented by Republicans. Representation was reduced from 27 in 2023 due to the state's slower overall population growth relative to the overall national population growth. New York has 28 electoral votes in national presidential elections, a drop from its peak of 47 votes from 1933 to 1953. The state has a strong imbalance of payments with the federal government. According to the New York State Comptroller, the state of New York received 91 cents in services for every $1 it sent in taxes to the U.S. federal government in the 2013 fiscal year. New York ranked in 46th place in the federal balance of payments to the state on a per capita basis. Politics, edit. Main article, Politics of New York, State. See also, Elections in New York, State, and Political Party Strength in New York, State. As of April 2016, the Democrats represented a plurality of voters in the state of New York, constituting more than twice as many registered voters as any other political party affiliation or lack thereof. No Republican presidential candidate has won over New York State since Ronald Reagan's landslide victory in 1984. New York City, as well as the state's other major urban locales, are significant Democratic strongholds. Rural portions of upstate New York, however, are generally more conservative than large cities and tend to favor Republicans. Heavily populated suburban areas downstate, such as Westchester County and Long Island, were solidly Republican until the 1990s, but have since shifted to primarily supporting the Democratic Party. New York City is the most important source of political fundraising in the United States for both major parties. 4 of the top 5 zip codes in the nation for political contributions are in Manhattan. The top zip code, 10,021 on the Upper East Side, generated the most money for the 2000 presidential campaigns of both George W. Bush and Al Gore. The state of New York has the distinction of being the home state for both major party nominees in 3 presidential elections. The 1904 presidential election saw former New York Governor and incumbent President Theodore Roosevelt face Alton B. Parker, Chief Judge of the New York Court of Appeals. The 1944 presidential election had Franklin D. Roosevelt, following in his cousin Theodore's footsteps as former New York Governor and incumbent President, running for re-election against the then-incumbent New York Governor Thomas E. Dewey. In the 2016 presidential election, former United States Senator from New York Hillary Clinton, a resident of Chapaka, was the Democratic Party nominee. The Republican Party nominee was businessman Donald Trump, a resident of Manhattan and a native of Queens. New York City is an important center for international diplomacy. The United Nations headquarters is situated on the east side of Midtown Manhattan since 1952. Sports, edit. Main article, Sports in New York, State. The state of New York is geographically home to one National Football League team, the Buffalo Bills, based in the Buffalo suburb of Orchard Park. Although the New York Giants and New York Jets represent the New York City metropolitan area and were previously located in New York City, they play in MetLife Stadium, located in East Rutherford, New Jersey. New York also has 2 Major League Baseball teams, the New York Yankees, based in the Bronx, and the New York Mets, based in Queens. Minor league baseball teams also play in the state of New York, including the Long Island Ducks, the Staten Island Ferryhawks, and the Brooklyn Cyclones, downstate, and the Rochester Red Wings, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, the Syracuse Mets, the Auburn Doubledays, the Batavia Muck Dogs, the Hudson Valley Renegades and the Buffalo Bisons upstate. New York is home to 3 National Hockey League franchises, the New York Rangers in Manhattan, the New York Islanders in Nassau County on Long Island, and the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. New York has 2 National Basketball Association teams, the New York Knicks in Manhattan, and the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, and a Women's National Basketball Association team, the New York Liberty, also based in Brooklyn. New York is the home of a Major League Soccer franchise, New York City FC, currently playing in the Bronx, though they are planning to build a new stadium in Queens. Although the New York Red Bulls represent the New York City metropolitan area, they play in Sports Illustrated Stadium in Harrison, New Jersey. Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. New York hosted the 1932 and 1980 Winter Olympics at Lake Placid. The 1980 Games are known for the USA-USSR ice hockey match dubbed the Miracle on Ice, in which a group of American college students and amateurs defeated the heavily favored Soviet national ice hockey team 4-3 and went on to win the gold medal against Finland. Along with St. Moritz, Switzerland and Innsbruck, Austria, Lake Placid is one of the 3 cities to have hosted the Winter Olympic Games twice. New York City bid for the 2012 Summer Olympics but lost to London. The annual United States Open Tennis Championships is one of the world's 4 Grand Slam tennis tournaments and is held at the National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows Corona Park in Queens. The Belmont Stakes, part of the Triple Crown of Thoroughbred Racing, is held at Belmont Park in Nassau County on Long Island. Several U.S. national sports halls of fame are or have been situated in New York. The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum is located in Cooperstown, Otsego County. The National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame in Saratoga Springs, Saratoga County, honors achievements in the sport of thoroughbred horse racing. The physical facility of the National Soccer Hall of Fame in Oneonta, also in Otsego County, closed in 2010, although the organization itself has continued inductions. The state of New York is also home to many intercollegiate Division I sports programs. The State University of New York's flagship university at Buffalo are the Buffalo Bulls. Syracuse University's intercollegiate teams are the Syracuse Orange. New York's strong sports background has influenced local industries such as sports betting as well. Due to the high volume of residents, tourists, and sports to bet on, New York became the first state to take in over $2 billion in sports bets in a single month. They also lead all U.S. states in terms of betting handle, totaling $22.70 billion in sports bets accepted during 2024. New York State Major League Professional Sports Teams. Club Sport League. Buffalo Bills Football National Football League. Brooklyn Nets Basketball National Basketball Association. New York Knicks Basketball National Basketball Association. New York Liberty Basketball Women's National Basketball Association. New York City FC Soccer Major League Soccer. Buffalo Sabres Ice Hockey National Hockey League. New York Islanders Ice Hockey National Hockey League. New York Rangers Ice Hockey National Hockey League. New York Mets Baseball Major League Baseball. New York Yankees Baseball Major League Baseball. See also, edit. 1 Index of New York, State, related articles. 2 Outline of New York. 3 List of New York area codes. Notes, edit.
Good. I'm now going to sneezing. Oh, sorry. It's 8 p.m. I think we need to stop reading today because I start to get tired. Now I open like 200. I have to read this again. Let's move it. New York State. Move it. New York State, New York City. Going to update my read list. New York City I did. Maybe we should read the history of New York State. There's a lot of stuff to read. Maybe I cannot upstate New York, but we can read this. Why not? Upstate New York. Let's read it next. I will put it on my list. Then we can read downstate New York. Why not? But I have to close many of this because I have opened more than 200. You cannot do that. Downstate New York. And history of New this I'm writing this, so let's read this. Upstate New York and downstate and history, but not now. But maybe we could read this tonight. It's 8 p.m. Could read it after the Danish evening news. But that will take me many months to read this. But I have nothing to do this summer because I will be lower. I have to lower my debts. I have to lower my credit card debt. No, I got this small debt, $400. I need to pay this down, but I need to make a saving. It's only the 4th of April, so I have the whole month. I will get my YouTube money in 3 weeks. I maybe get $400, $300 or $400. I will pay this credit card debt down to zero. I have another debt, $50. It's not, this debt is not a big problem. I have other debts. It's not a big problem to have a credit card debt. $400. I just pay like $16. I made a minimum payment today, $16, and interest is like $8 or $9. But I like to get this debt down to zero. No, I have to pay like $150 my internet connection and home insurance. I just pay another $150 or $130, 1,000 Danish kroners. Like $90 I just pay, and my rent apart, electricity bill, all kind of bills. And then I have to, same time I have to saving some money. So this month I did save most of my money. Of course I need to have a saving. that we can do that. We can read about New York the whole month. Why not?